Great. This is going to be a bi-weekly reading for the week of the 23rd, December 23rd through January the 5th. So, this is a general collective reading. This is for all signs. This is not for just one specific sign or anything like that. So this could be applied for everybody as a collective if you resonate. If it's meant for you to resonate, you'll resonate with it. All right. Much love, everybody. Let's go ahead and tap into the collective overall energy. I'm going to use the chakra oracle cards first. Hope you guys have a good evening. Blessings to you. Let's clear out the energy first. Make sure that everything is all good and sparkly up in here. We don't want no, dense energy. Alright. Dermas Pali Santo and shit. Get it going. My live may be glitching. So if it's glitching, I apologize, y'all. Because I can already see it on my end that it's acting a little jittery or whatever. So hopefully we don't really have too many issues and stuff like that. So, alright. Peace, goddess. Peace to you. How is it, everybody? Divine Spirit, thank you for your loving guidance. The angels and the ancestors of High Council, of benevolent energies, loving energies. Give us nothing but love, insight, truth, and clarity of what we need to know, what we need to hear. For those who are meant to receive this message, who are aligned with this message, thank you. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? We have acceptance, which is a root chakra card. I feel like it's the opposite of not accepting what doesn't serve you, obviously, but let's see what else we get. We got mysticism with gratitude. These are both third eye chakra cards. So I feel like you guys, this week, the further we get into, or the tail end of the year, I feel like a lot of things are being revealed to you. Also, I feel like this is a sense of gratitude for everything that you've realized, the realizations, the revelations that you've come to so far. And on top of that, acceptance, I feel like is no longer accepting what does not serve you. Does that make sense? What's up, Asia? We have isolation, which is the throat chakra. And then some of you guys, it's like needing to be like speaking your authentic truth in some sort of way. It could be in a specific area. It could be just once and for all, just period. But it's like some of you guys may be holding yourself back from putting yourself out there to some extent. That could resonate differently with everyone. I see something with pregnancy too. Some of you guys could be pregnant. Oof. Release. Yeah, this is time to let go. And the pregnancy can be metaphoric. This could represent like you giving birth to yourself in a new way. Because this is like spirit is showing you some things, I feel, already, not just during this week or this 2-week space. I feel like this has been happening and it's just it's getting stronger. Like the occurrences, it's like spiritual things happening. I don't know why I heard walk in, something with walk in. I feel like somebody's having a baby. Someone's gonna have a gifted child, like a spiritually gifted child or intuitive child. This woman has on a purple dress, the woman that's pregnant. And I feel like this represents a child that's a mystic that's coming in. I feel like it's a male child. If you're not pregnant, then, or your significant other is not pregnant, then this doesn't apply to you. But for those of you that are pregnant or are expecting a child in some sort of way, this child is going to be intuitive. Release. This is time for you guys to let go. Like you had enough time to mourn and dwell on certain things. And I feel like it's time for you to heal now. This is to close out the crown chakra card. So some of you guys, a lot of the mental blocks, lack of mental clarity. Ugh, it's hot in here. That happens. Okay, my bad. It's hot. Not because I have candles on, but it's hot. Like every time I start reading or start channeling, I get hot. Release. I feel like this represents your crown chakra, like the fogginess and the cloudiness, the things from the past and grief, like lower vibrational energy, lower vibrational thoughts. Those energies coming up for you to address them so that you can heal, but some of them are just coming out like they're being purged out, if that makes sense. Um, so let's see what the tarot got to say. I'm going to use the Modern Witch Tarot, which is my new fave. If you're thinking about the past, it's because it's something you need to address. And of course, because we're about to close out. What's up, Mimi? How are you? We're about to close out a decade. So a lot of shit's coming up. Dude, who in the hell is that? I be seeing shit, y'all. Like I said, in a few other lives, you guys. My intuition's been kicking off, and it's kind of scary. You're blessed. I'm glad. I'm blessed as well. I'm tired. Energetically tired. I wouldn't say I'm sleepy. I just came back from not really Christmas shopping, but like doing some little here and there, and feel a little drained from the rush. Doo-doo! Divine Spirit Angels ask us to tap into the collective for this week, this 2-week time span. Yeah. It's time to let it go. And you have to be easy on yourself and forgive yourself, because I get like healing and stuff is taking place at a rapid rate. So a lot of triggers are coming in like almost like back to back or like almost every day. And it's funny now that I get heads up now when a trigger is going to come. Like I get a heads up, not to say that I know what the trigger is going to be, but I get a heads up that a trigger is about to come or a quote unquote spiritual attack is about to come. And like I said before, it might be different for everybody, but every time I cleanse something out, I release, I do some sort of work to cut cords with something or release something within myself, and I'm feeling good, and I'm like, you know, here comes an attack from somewhere. What's up, Michelle? All right, that's enough. 7 of Cups. Pay attention to your dreams, you guys. I say this all the time, but the spirit realm is speaking. The King of Swords. Justice card. The Tower. Don't be afraid of the Tower. She's necessary. He or she's necessary. The Judgment card. Oh my God. Spirit. Every time I see, like, okay, when I see the Justice card, when I see the Judgment card and the Tower card, those are for me like cards of like spirit, like really, really like speaking, and not, and especially with all of these cards together, the Justice and the Tower, spirit's not playing, and I wouldn't take it in a bad light or anything like that. I just feel like spirit is like wanting you to really let go, like stop bullshitting with yourself. That's what I heard with 7 of Swords. Stop bullshitting with yourself. So Spirit's saying 7 of Cups and 7 of Swords. Like, you know what's going on. And I say this because you got the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. Those can represent delusions, deception, self-deception. I wouldn't say that it's definite. I feel like it's whatever you're plugged into, like you're feeding into your own bullshit, basically. The Empress. Because the King of Swords represents the intellect, represents the spirit. And this is the king is the highest level of each of that court. So you got the page, of course, you got the knight, you got the queen, and then you got the king. The king to me is like the highest level of that suit. So with swords, that represents intellect and wisdom. You know. And Spirit saying you're bullshitting with yourself. And I feel this is about making decisions. And it's not to say like a punishment if you do or you don't, but you have a conviction within yourself, what you know, what your own personal relationship with spirit is and what you need to do or what needs to be addressed or whatever needs to be conveyed or whatever whatever the situation is for you individually. With the Tower card, this is the card of like, you get a notice from spirit, like you got an expiration date to do something. And you wait till the last minute to do it, and then you're like, fuck, I should have did it. and spirit forces you to do it, or something happens to where you're like, fuck, I should have just listened. It's that type of energy. The Judgment card, like, I feel like people know better what they need to be looking into. Look at all these major arcanas. Yeah, Spirit's not playing. We're getting into the next year, a next decade at the same time. So you got all these majors. You got the Strength card and the Lovers card. Yeah, when you get the Lovers card, I don't always see this as like a soulmate, twin flame, and all that bullshit. I see it as a choice between your higher self and your ego, your truth versus the comfortable, the illusion, the red pill, the blue pill, whatever. It's two opposite energies. So it's also the heart over matter. The heart over matter is the soul over the ego. You got majors. The fuck? Look, the only cards that are not majors is the King of Swords, Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. All of the rest of them are majors. Just interesting. So yeah, Spirit's not playing. And then you got the Empress card here. This represents the divine feminine energy within self, period. This can also represent nurturing the self. I feel like Spirit is also saying that this is a time to really take care of you. Like, this is a time to choose self and self-love and what that means to you. Be honest with yourself in any type of way that you feel led to. The Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups. When I hear seven, I think of the crown chakra. The crown chakra, like I said in the other spread, there's a lot of confusion because you're not releasing, or you're going through a purge and you are releasing. So certain things are coming to light. Certain things are being revealed to you, I feel. Certain things are coming together. Pieces are coming together. I also feel like with the Judgment card, it's something significant with Revelations, the book of Revelations. I had this discussion with one of my sisters. These solar eclipse, if you read, it's a certain in the Bible, I think it's, I'm probably wrong, but it was like 8 verse 8 into like 8 to 12 of book of Revelations. One of those, I had to look. It was a post she posted on her Instagram. But anyway, it's something that's needing to be eclipsed out of your life. Like, you have to be real with yourself. Even if that be an aspect of yourself that has to go. And I get, like, you cannot pretend that you don't see. I also get, like, some of you with the Seven of Cups, this represents, it could be intoxication, being intoxicated by something to numb yourself. And it's not working, because I feel like it's going to get head, like, if you're drinking or smoking to numb something or to escape and not think about or address or deal with something, it's only going to heighten that thing that you're running from. Because the Seven of Swords, I feel like, is a person that's running. They have mental conflict. They're in conflict. They know that they need to address something with the Two of Swords behind them, but they're running from it. She's running from it. And the truth is, what you're doing is you're running from yourself with the Empress card. We all have the Empress energy within us, whether we're male or female, doesn't matter. Whether we label ourselves as feminine or masculine, we all have a feminine principle within us. I also feel like this could have something to do with choosing yourself, if I didn't say that already. The Lover's card, you do have to make a decision between something. These are, you have to be real with yourself. You don't want to take, like, this is what I'm hearing. You don't want to take the ego and all that bullshit with you into the next decade or the next year. Like, all of this stuff is long overdue. It's time to, like, clean the shit out now. Then you have the Strength card. So the Strength card is, she's looking back at the Lovers, the Empress, the Seven of Swords, the Judgment, the Tower, Justice, the King of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. She's looking back at all of this. So this is where you've come from. Some of you guys have already moved past something that was, you knew did not serve you. You knew was not based off of your truth. Whether this was programming from childhood, whether this was false connections or relationships, a false sense of self, identity, whatever, carrying on to woundedness and all of that. You're looking back, or you will be looking back at this energy with a level of strength. Like you, like this stuff is not easy. Like whatever this energy is, collectively, we all go through our own unique situations and stories and all of that. Whatever this is that you've come from is some heavy shit. Then you have the Hierophant. If you didn't go through this, like you wouldn't be able, like you wouldn't be as wise as you are at this space and time. Some of you guys are meant, like I said in another reading, some of you are meant to be teachers. And when I say teachers, it doesn't necessarily mean sitting in front of a classroom teaching students. You are an example or a blueprint for something for others. However that is manifested, whether that be through writing books, whether that be through sports, whatever it doesn't even matter. I feel whatever's aligned for you, that's what this is. But this is a lot. Like this is, I heard Judah, the lion. Some of you guys could be religious. Some of you guys could be religious. You have a religious faith in something or whatever, and maybe something with Judah resonates with you. I'm noticing the crowns. You have the King of Swords, the Empress, the Strength card, and the Hierophant all have crowns. This all goes back to the crown chakra, your connection with spirit, your connection with your higher self. As long as you tap into spirit, your connection with God or the universe or whatever you identify with and resonate with, when you tap into this is what's pulling you through. This is what's getting you through. Even if you believe there's no God, you believe in yourself, your higher self, your spiritual intelligence within you, whatever you believe in, that's what's pulling you through this. Not the false sense of self, the false identities, your childhood programming and all that. That shit's not really, I wouldn't say misled you, but you're being guided by your higher self. And this is what's going to help you share something. I really feel like next year for a lot of you, it's like, I wouldn't say training, but yeah, you've been a student to the universe and other things for long as you can remember, maybe since you were a child. And now you're getting back to your true authentic self. You're uncovering who you are. And I also see other motherfuckers that's gonna see, it's like, how do I say it? Because I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm religious. I grew up in church, yes, but I'm not heavily fixed on traditions and stuff like that. Like I see it in a different light. But I heard prophecy with the judgment card. Prophecy. You have angelic reinforcement twice in this deck. You have the judgment with the angel, and the lovers you have the angel. And I feel like this has been prophesied. You have no choice but to whatever you're walking in, that's who you are, and you're realizing it and you're walking in that, and it is what it is. So the Hierophant represents that. And I get like it is going to be rebellious against, I wouldn't say rebellious against your beliefs. I would say more so of societal beliefs of what, so say for instance, you're a woman, they say women can't do this, or if you're a man, men can't do this, or you can't, it's something that goes against the grain. I don't feel like it's anything sinister or to mislead people or to force people to believe in something. This is you doing you and you aligning with people like you. Not a false sense of leadership. This is not a cult-like energy. I don't get like it's a cult, like people are like following somebody and you're your own fucking leader and you are aligning with other leaders. That makes sense. All right. And you had the Two of Cups at the bottom. So yeah, you're gathering. Yeah, this is a victory. And for some of you, if you want to look at it in the love sense, I'll get into the love in a second. I'm going to do a totally different spread for romance and stuff like that. But if you want to look at it in that sense, I could go deep into that too, because I can see it. You don't know where this, you just flow with it. I know, I'm a control freak too, but you got to flow with it. 7 of Cups. If you look at this, I feel like you are going to get clarity about something. Could be in the forms of communication, could come through in the form of a dream or a sign of synchronicity in regards to a relationship. I'll call it the signs I see. I don't always do that, but I'm going to call it out. And it could be a sun, moon, rising placement. It could be someone's Venus. It could be someone's 7th house placement, whatever. You got the 7 of Cups. That's Scorpio energy. The Tower is also, the Tower and the Judgment is also Scorpio. So you have a lot of Scorpio energy here. The King of Swords can be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. You do have Justice, Lovers, and the Empress, and the 7 of Swords, which are air. Justice is Libra. The Empress can also be Libra and Taurus. 7 of Swords, Aquarius, Lovers, Gemini. The Strength card, Leo, and the Hierophant, Taurus. So these could be placements in your chart or someone else's chart. I do see someone needing to make a decision. Could be a karmic connection versus a divine connection, because you got the Justice card sitting right on top of the Lovers card. I have 10 cards out. The Justice card is right over the Lovers card. The Justice is the 3rd card. So I do feel like this has something to do with a Libra energy, or it could even be, yeah, it could be because of Venus, something with Venus, something with partnerships. You have to make a decision between a karmic connection versus a divine connection. The Tower card, I feel like there's going to be a Tower moment that is going to awaken a person to make a decision on their path. Something that someone's been avoiding or running away from with the 7 of Swords. The Emperor's card here, someone's going to have to make a decision to choose themselves, or someone has chosen themselves in regards to their divine path. So it's like, say for instance, you surrender to a connection because you know that it's meant to help you on your path, rather than just running from it. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what this is or what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going to trust spirit. I'm just going to flow with this. You're choosing yourself. It's not so much you're choosing a person. You're internally, like, truthfully and honestly, you're choosing yourself. You're making a decision for yourself to even align with another person, if that makes sense. So the Lovers card, there will be some sort of communication. I feel like it's more of an angelic communication. It could even be a telepathic communication, but for some reason I feel like it's more of a spiritual communication with your spiritual team. You might want to ask your spirit guides to assist you and guide you, but the thing you got to remember is that you are not to question a decision you made, because spirit's not going to allow you. If you're following your higher self and you're following your heart and you are listening to spirit, you cannot be misled. With the Strength card in the connection, it could also be someone did not know their strength or their power. They underestimated themselves, or maybe another person underestimated you, or you underestimated them, whatever the case may be. Someone had to stand in their power. I see a lot of powerful feminine energy in the cards. So you have the Hierophant as well. So someone aligns with their truth and their path when it comes to a connection. It could also be some sort of commitment. You got the 2 of Cups, which again, this can represent a union or a connection. You got the 6 of Wands. Some sort of victory, or someone putting themselves out there in some sort of instance, or someone having a new level of confidence within themselves, period. So let's see specifically with love, though. I'm going to pull some cards and see what we get with that. And I'm going to use my relationship oracle cards. My big ass oracle, as I call them. So I'm going to pull these. And I'm going to clarify with tarot, the romance angels. I don't really feel guided to pull any sexual energies. I don't feel like that's important right now. Let's see. Divine Spirit, please tap into partnerships and romance and love, divine connections, karmic connections, whatever it is that we need to know at this time. Whoa, motherfucker, whoa. I'm not taking all that. Hold on. Shit, I'm not doing it. Maybe I'll do like a little flashcard thing, but this is a lot. I'm just telling you. Okay, you got telepathy and mirroring. September, something significant with the month of September. Something with the a question. Something with a question. It's a yes for some of you. Receptivity. The month of January. Something weeks. August. Family and friends. October. Years. Self-love and self-worth. False love. Divine insight and intuition in July. So these could be significant months, something that could have taken place throughout the year or in the past that's very significant. Does not have to be someone's birthday month. It could be something in the near future, but I don't always like get into future tense energies. All we have is right now. So, you know, unless you're manifesting something or something that is meant to align. But I feel like this is more so past tense energies or something to do with maybe somebody's birthday. But divine insight and intuition is like that. Like I said, that's key. Like you have to tap into your higher self and connect. If you feel like, okay, well, I don't know how to do that, I'm not confident in that, there's someone around you that may be of assistance, someone that's more in tune with spirit, not like just telling you shit off of their opinions and, you know, this is coming from a higher place. False love. There is some false love up in here. That does not have to mean that the connection itself is false or whatever. It could be that something is teaching one of you or has been teaching somebody unconditional love. And on top of that, there could be a false connection. Could be a karmic connection here. I didn't pull the karma card, but I have a feeling and an inkling that that's what this vibe is with the false love card. But it's also learning the difference between unconditional love and what false love is. So you have self-love and self-worth. That's also another key to divine connections. You have to love yourself. You cannot love another person more than you love yourself. It's never going to work that way. And if you don't love yourself, you can't say that you truly love another person. Of course, we have issues. We can have those types of issues within self, but ultimately, that's what this is. Self-love as well as also unconditional love. Telepathy and mirroring. I feel like pay attention to this. See, you have to be careful with this. I always tell people this all the time. Like, you have to be careful because essentially we're all connected. Okay, we're all connected. I may see a sign or synchronicity in relation to you, but that doesn't mean like I have to go to the extreme and say, okay, that means that this person is my soulmate or they're my twin flame or whatever the stuff labels are. It could be something significant about the person at the time, something I'm meant to experience, something I'm meant to learn, but it does not have to equate to something like that. You have to use your discernment. You have to ask spirit, what is this? What is this that I'm experiencing? What are you trying to show me? And flow with that. But there is mirroring happening. I do feel like even mirroring with false connections too. So be just mindful of that. You have receptive. So Spirit's telling you to be receptive, meaning to, that doesn't mean be gullible. That doesn't mean to be irrational or anything like that. It just means to be in a state of mindfulness, I feel. You have yes, the yes card. So like I said, it could be something that you're asking, but I'm going to pull some tarot. Family and friends can also play a significant role, whether that's good or bad in this connection. But let's see what's going on. Let's see what's up. What is the energy of partnerships, angels, and ancestors of the higher council of love, light, and truth of the path that is of our highest good for those who are here to receive the message? What we need to hear, what we need to know in regards to love and partnerships and romance in relation to divine connections and false connections. Thank you. You can only see a portion of it, but yeah. That was my 2019 vision board. I did that on, it was me, like all the girls got together at one of my aunt's house, and we decided that we would like drink, listen to music, and make vision boards for the New Year's Eve that we bring in the new year by making vision boards. And I thought that was a dope concept. So that's what we did. We had a vision board party. Thank you for your love and guidance, truth and clarity, divine spirit. What is the energy? What is the energy Chemistry, attraction. There's a strong pull between two people, obviously, of course. You got calling in your soulmate, you got release your ex, reconciliation. Some of you guys may be and then new love. Some of you guys may be blocking a soulmate connection because you're still holding on to somebody from your past. It could be an energy that doesn't serve you. Your spirit guides are helping you. So if you have anything that's lingering from a past connection, like say some sort of trauma, because spirit will try to get your attention. Like when you're more aware of yourself, the more and more in tune you can understand like why certain things, why you feel what you feel, why you're being triggered, why are certain people coming to you and all of that. So whenever an ex comes up in my consciousness, I think of like, what is it that's still lingering? I don't take it as, oh, I'm supposed to be with him, oh, I miss him. I just be like, okay, well, either it's them pulling on my energy or it's something that still needs to be healed at this time in my life with this person. I need to let it go. So I feel spirits like letting me know what needs to be released, because there's like a reconciliation that wants to happen. I feel like some of you guys have been manifesting your divine counterpart or something, and I don't feel like some of you, it may be subconsciously. Once you let something go, it'll come in. Let's see. I do feel for a lot of you, because I only speak about divine connections. I don't speak on delusional connections. Like, I don't just feed into, like, everything means that you're meant to be with this person. Like, I'm not fixed in that way when it comes to signs and synchronicities, or when it comes to whatever people have been taught, all that bullshit. Me personally, I only tap into true divine connection. So when I do, I can discern what's a mutual energy versus what's a unrequited situation. You can sense the difference. You can sense when it's two people pulling on each other's energy versus one chasing the other, and it's like another person just like, no. Like, there's a difference. I can sense it. So this is an energy where I feel like two people are pulling on each other's energy, and they may even be manifesting each other. There's a reconciliation card. I feel like it's an energy of someone coming in someone's dream space. There's communication that's happening in the dream space. Again, be discerning with that. Three of Swords. There's some unfinished business with someone that you need to let go of. You're still healing from something, or you're going to become aware of what needs to be healed. Like, this is necessary. Do not skip this step. Do not. If you're still watching, you're still listening to this, do not skip this step. Just, like, you don't want to manifest something beautiful with somebody if you still got some fucked up shit in your energy. You don't want to do that. And my stubborn ass, like, yeah, we want what we want, but if our energy's not in alignment and it's not right for what we're asking for, it's not going to happen. And if you do just, if you force your will into it to make something happen, it's not going to last long. Align your frequencies, you guys. Six of Cups. Yeah, this is something about the past and something about your childhood. Do I feel worthy? The Queen of Cups. Do I feel worthy enough to receive this love that I truly desire? Again, self-love, self-worth is coming up. And if it's not you, then it's another person or both of you. I don't know why I keep looking in the corner. There's somebody over there. I know it. Page of Pentacles and the Hermit card. So, yeah, someone is like, they've been learning something since they were a child. Someone is like an introvert or something. Someone's an introvert. Someone is maybe like a loner by choice, or someone that, regardless of who they're around, they kind of always feel like the black sheep, the person that's doesn't really fit in. But I also get this feeling too, like there's a lot of spying going on with the Hermit card. Someone's looking at their laptop. They're in the dark. The Page of Pentacles. Someone is like studying something. Someone's standing back. The Ten of Wands. Hiding behind heavy energy. Hiding behind their fears, their doubts, their insecurities. What happened to them as a child. All kind of shit's coming up. that could be your energy or someone else's energy, but only you would know for sure what that is. But that's just what I'm picking up. Spirit's gonna help you release the past, and you're clearing your energy as we speak, and another person's clearing their energy as you speak. So if you're wondering why, I'll tell you why reconciliation and new loving energy, new energy has not come in yet. Because what separates these two cards is the release your ex card. This has to be released. There's no other way around it. It's not an ex. It's something the exes did to you. It's something that you did to them. This, guilt, forgiveness needs to take place. Woundedness, cheating. Everybody's the same. Everybody's gonna be like my ex, so and so, and there. What if this and all of that, or unfinished business, you haven't fully expressed yourself, or you're still waiting for closure from an ex, or you want somebody to get what they got coming, or oh, I hope this person gets, like, wanting to get even, like whatever little energies that you have not detached from. Spirit's not going to allow this to come in until you heal this, because this is what separates the two. And you might be like, well, why isn't this coming together, and why isn't that coming together? Because the energy's not in the right space. And if it's not you, it's the other person. But remember, you're mirroring. The Eight of Swords and the Sun card. Some of you guys are so stuck in that negative headspace that you can't even see that Spirit's got something for you. You got the King of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So someone's thinking like your higher self or your intellect knows the truth. It's like, but you have to allow yourself to be free. And this could also relate. Something just flew over me, just flew past me just now. Because I said something was in my corner. I keep looking at the corner of my room. And I know there's not something physically there, but there's something energetically there. It's an angel. But the Sun card, I feel like with the Sun, this represents inner child. Because remember how I said the butterfly. Alright. I forgot what I was going to say. It's a lot coming through, y'all. Like, for real. I'm trying to, like, ground my energy. Because, like I said, I was out amongst a whole bunch of people. And I kind of feel drained. But, there's something in the corner. I keep looking over there, and I know it's something over there. Like, it's not nothing. It's not negative energy, because I wouldn't be like, But I honestly feel like for those of you that felt like loners, or felt like you were odd, the odd one out, the oddball, you were weird, or you weren't the popular girl, the popular guy, or even if you were, you still didn't feel like yourself, or you were trying to be someone you were not to appease people. All of that shit's breaking down. And you're just facing it. It's like the bird box. Like, you're blind. You don't want to see, because if you see it, it's like you're going to die. But it's an ego death. Like, you have to confront that. You have to face it. And I feel like that's what this is. And again, the key word is compassion. Something with the solar plexus too. Something with sunflowers. So this represents the solar plexus. And I also feel like this represents being kind to yourself. Being friendly to yourself. Like, you gotta be a friend to you. Like, one of my sisters, she brought up a reading that I had did earlier this year, sometime this year, where I said, I don't remember verbatim, but I remember because it sticks to me. But it was something along the lines of like your inner child. Like, if you were to see yourself as your childlike self, would you tell that child that they're stupid, that they're ugly, they're not good enough, they're not this, or they can't, or why did you do that, or you should have did this better? Would you tell your little self that? Like, you have to look at yourself in that sense, because that's still you to some degree, right? You're still the same being. You just grew up, you just aged, but that you're still that child to some extent, if you know what I mean. So it's like, would you say that to yourself? Would you denounce yourself and your gifts and your uniqueness and all of that? Or would you be your best friend? Would you play? Would you be not oblivious, but would you, because, well, yes, children, they bruise easily. When people say things, it sticks to them. It does hurt them at the core. But it's like, children have this big heart where they just continuously love to some extent, or they want to believe in the good of people and they trust people, even those that have hurt them. There's, kids, their parents may have treated them a certain way, but they would still always try to kiss up to their parents and want to be accepted. So it's like now you have those boundaries. You know where the woundings are, but you have to be kind to yourself. You cannot be so harsh and so mean to yourself because it's easy. What type of crystal? It's an amethyst. It's like a really deep purple amethyst. You can't really see, but it's amethyst. Um, yeah. And there's butterflies in the King of Swords. So this represents transformation of the mind. You have to face that aspect of yourself. Think of yourself as that inner child and really be kind to that person. It's not easy. I know it's not always easy. And some people did not have the best childhood. Some people have had trauma. Um, I'll speak for myself. This relates to an extent to being a like bubbly child, and then at some point in my young years, in my youth in elementary school, I did not fit in with people. There wasn't times where I always had friends. There were times where I had to play by myself, where people did tease me. There were times where I had experiences, like I'm not gonna get into all that, but some people have experienced molestations and stuff like that as a child, sexual abuse. So not everybody's childhood was all light and fluffy, and it wasn't always bad, but we still experience certain things where we have to be kind to ourselves. So this song like comes every now and then to me, but it's the song India Ari, Get It Together, and I like that song. I would suggest listening to it. What's up, Ilani? What's up, Fluffy, by the way? Yeah. So I feel this is about work. Towards the tail end of this decade, like this is about continuing, because I don't feel like anybody has not done their work. Even if you don't even know that you have been putting in the work regardless. The work that you put in is also going to attract your partner. So I'm seeing it like this too. What separates the chemistry and the calling in your soulmate card is the attraction card. And you see how she's so caught up in her garden. She's so caught up in her moment within herself. She's not looking around. She's not standing. She's not waiting. She's in a state of bliss, or what it seems to be bliss, and complete. She's completely present. And she's dressed in green, which represents the heart chakra. It also represents healing. Also can represent groundedness, a healthy energy. So when you're in that state where you're present within yourself and it's a place of healing and you're like really getting into yourself, naturally things are going to come together. And that's a part of not wanting to force or control things, because it's just going to lead you. You're going to be guided regardless. Okay? You're going to be guided. Both of you are going to be guided. I feel like this is a mirroring energy. I don't feel like this is just for one person. So please don't take it like, oh, I'm doing all of this. Well, what is he or she doing? Or are they not doing? Like, no. Like, everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. If this is a divine connection, Spirit's not going to just let the other person just get off and just get to fuck up in the world. And, like, we all go through our own period, our own time. So let's see what else needs to come out. I don't want to pull. Oh, these were left over. I'm going to look at these. So you have past life relationship, forgiving and learning. Yep, got to forgive yourself. Stay optimistic about your love life. Keep an open mind and let your friends help you. So you have support from your friends on the other side, I would say mainly, but you do have sisterhood and brotherhood of those who have your best interests. There's a difference between those of you who have people around you that do not have your best interests, that don't even have their shit together. They're not trying to, heal. They're not trying to focus on themselves or do what they need to do for themselves to better themselves. They're in some like shitty situations, shitty relationships, and they're trying to tell you how to live your life. That's not going to help. You can tell who's there, who has your best interest, because these are people that are actually growing as well. And they want to see you grow. They want to see the best for you. This is not toxic connections, toxic friends, toxic family members, because there will always be those people there that don't have your best interest, but there's also people that have your best interest that want to support you and help you. So please be like discerning of who you share your business with. I'm getting, and also be discerning of who you take information for. You always have to use your discernment. Even with this reading, you got to filter through what resonates with you, where spirit's speaking to you, and use your discernment. If it doesn't resonate with you, you'll know. If it doesn't sit well with you, it's something that may not be for you right now or at all, or just ask your spirit guides to clarify something for you. But allow people to help you, because some of you guys may be trying to do everything by yourself, whether it's in regards to love, whether it's in regards to your healing. Like, you gotta let people help you, because you never know. Maybe this is something, whatever you're going through, maybe a friend or family member mastered that and they can help you, or you can help others. I feel like this is a time where it's a soul tribe, it's full circle. We're here to help each other, if that makes sense. So you have the past life relationship card. I feel some of you guys, again, this is a past energy that's lingering around. Could be an ex, or it could just be needing to forgive people from your past and forgive yourself. What did I learn from those experiences? So I get like there's some masculine energies that are way too hard on themselves. Because I feel there's been for so long this template of what masculinity is, and it's very, very toxic. It doesn't allow them a space to be vulnerable. Doesn't allow them the space to um, feel their emotions, like really sit with their emotions and really like, it's a shameful thing to cry. It's a shameful thing to be vulnerable, to share emotions, to feel emotions. It's been blocked out for so long. So it's like coming into this place of breaking down. Like, I get masculine energy, like you gotta be stripped of your ego completely. And if you are if you're a woman that operates more in your masculinity, where you've been, like I said this in another reading, where you've been your own mate for so long, your own protector, your own provider for so long, you channel more of a masculine energy. It's gonna take you breaking down to release that and be vulnerable. And I know how that feels, because that's me. You gotta break it down and like let it go. And I feel the Tower card can also be that as well. Then you have the stay optimistic about your love life. So you gotta be in a state of, regardless of what I see, I have to be optimistic, because I don't know what spirit's doing. A lot of shit that's happening is happening behind the scenes. It's not happening in the physical where you can see it. You will get certain things that let you know you're on the right path. That's why we have numbers. That's why we have messengers of divine spirit or the universe. That's why we have dreams. That's why we see whatever we see, or we hear messages, or whatever comes to us to help us navigate through this. But a lot of what's happening is not happening on a physical level. It's happening in the spirit realm. It's happening behind the scenes. Benevolent energies are helping you just as much as there's malevolent motherfuckers behind the scenes trying to fuck shit up too. So you have to be in alignment with yourself. Like, it's a lot of messages coming through, so I'm trying to like take them all in, but keep an open mind too. Keep an open mind about this situation. Someone is keeping an open mind about what they thought was supposed to be a soulmate. Because the thing about this energy is you and your counterpart, there's always going to be something different about you. Like, it's never going to be conventional. Like, I always say this all the time, like, Spirit, why don't you just send me some regular whatever, where it's not all this extra shit, where just some fucking person up the street that I don't have to, it's not what I want. I'm asking for something comfortable, but Spirit will push you out of your comfort zone. Say, for instance, you and this person, one person's Catholic and one person's Christian. Your beliefs are a little bit different. I mean, there's similarities, but they're different, or I don't know, class, status, race, whatever. A person's looks. Not to say that you won't be attracted, because your soul, it's a soul attraction. Because there, like, I don't know if anybody's ever had this, But there were things where, there were times where I was attracted to people that not everybody would think would be attractive or cute. We want that fire, right? So there have been times where it was because of the person's energy. It was just the vibe that I got from the person that made me attracted to them. So it's not to say the spirit saying, oh, you're not going to be attracted to your partner, that they're not going to be whatever beautiful to you, whether physical or soul. That it's not. That's not what they're saying. It's not. You're not settling. That's different. But it's like you're used to a certain type, and it's like, well, they don't fit that, or there's something that's out of convenience, I don't want to deal with it. It's something that you're having to keep an open mind about, and I feel like someone is learning this. um yeah, someone is learning this, like, and for some of you it's like cop out to count yourself out of the connection because it has something to do with self-worth. It has nothing to do with the other person. It always goes back to self. Like, and I have sisters that always check me, and I don't mind it. Like, check me, bitch, check me. But sometimes I do get triggered. I'm not gonna lie, but I would rather be triggered than like just be dumb, stuck on stupid. So trigger me, bitch. But anyway, I got called out. She was like, "Oh, you just want something that's regular, like something simple, so that you could be comfortable because you want to count yourself out because you don't feel worthy of something greater. You want to be comfortable. You want to still fuck with the the I was about to say the N word, but the ninjas that don't do shit all day and sit around just like you want something that's just simple for you because it doesn't push you into where you're supposed to go, or you struggle with your own self-worth, you count yourself out. So it has nothing to do with the other person. Everything always goes back to you, no matter what the connection is, whether it's your friend, whether it's a stranger. Something is always going to echo back to self, just like you would be a mirror to another person. It works both ways. um so yeah. And then let's see what the tarot cards, because all these cards came out, and you would have the Lover's card again, and of course you would have the Tower card again. All right, so you got Two of Pentacles. I don't know why that reminds me of Whitney Houston, but you got the Two of Swords. You got two twos, Five of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Lovers, the Three of Pentacles, the Tower, and everything is fine. So I'm going to put her to the side because this is like in this deck, because they have two versions of this card. One is the Ten of Swords and one is the Everything is Fine. And I take this as like stop shuffling. So I'm going to put her to the side. You got the Queen and the Six of Pentacles. Okay. So I will start off with the majors. Again, it's like this connection is going to trigger the fuck out of you because it's going to bring you to a place of where you're going to have to choose yourself. You cannot operate off of your ego. You could fight all you want to, and this is not saying like spirit's forcing your hand into something that you in essence don't want. In the soul of you, if it's, you already know deep down in the soul what you want, but you'll talk yourself out of it. You'll try to make excuses. You'll try to play yourself. You'll try to play another person. You'll try to play everybody else, your angels, your guides, and they will keep fucking with you until you fucking surrender. They will do that. And this other person, damn sure they're gonna trigger you too. They will do things to fucking trigger you. If it's not, you know, a stranger on the street, a co-worker at your job that says something that triggers you and sets you off, something you see on TV that sets you off, your mama, your daddy, whatever, or the person, somebody is going to trigger you because what's going to happen is it's for you to get out of your own way. Because I get like a sense of running on, and I feel like it's not just the viewer. I feel like it could go both ways. I mean, there are two people in this car, right? In the Tower. Well, she got fucked up. Ow. That's painful. Someone's solar plexus, because she got, yeah, ooh. That's a little gory. Yeah, someone's, so like someone's confidence has to be shaken up, but it's a false sense of confidence and false sense of ego. that's been bruised, or the solar plexus needs to be worked on. Like spirit, spirit makes shit real clear. The Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take with self, and I feel like it's a mutual exchange. I'm giving you something and you're giving me something, and it does not have to be on a material level. This is an energetic thing, but I also feel like you got to believe that you're worthy of receiving it, that that's something that when people give to you, whether it's a compliment, whether it's someone being nice to you in some sense, or spirit blessing you, are you really grateful, or do you always like count yourself or question it or doubt or wonder if you're good enough or to receive or to give? It's something that I feel like aligns back to self-worth, because the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords is someone is trying to find balance with their higher self and their physical self and what they see. And again, it's like when you get too caught up in what it looks like, you will fuck yourself every time. I hate to say it like that, but you fuck yourself every time when you try to. And my sister, when my sister tells me this all the time, it's like her voice just be like in my head. But it's like, like we try to make sense of spiritual things. That's what she said. You try to make, it doesn't make sense because you're trying to make sense of spiritual things. But no, for real, like, I get it. But you also have to know who you are. And I don't always want to put everything on zodiac signs, but that is a part of who we are. It's a language. It's a signature in the universe. So I have to like use that. I'm a triple Taurus. I have so much fucking Taurus and Earth in my chart and air. I have to see things. It has to be concrete to me, for me to get it. And I'm so stubborn that spirit will throw some shit in my face, and I'll still be like, I don't believe it. I don't know. Oh, I don't. Because you're just too caught up. So it's like there's an imbalance between the physical and the spiritual self somewhere down the line. And I feel the Two of Swords represents the higher self, and the Two of Pentacles represents the earth. There's a balance. You can also get too caught up in the spiritual where everything is a sign, or even if it is a sign, we overanalyze it. We try to like dissect it, and we try to like, you got to balance the two out. You got to balance out the flesh and the soul, or the spirit. So it can't be too much of the other. The Five of Swords, there's a lot of mental conflict. I feel like someone's overanalyzing and overthinking is causing them, it's like you think that it's a battle with everybody else, but at the end of the day, the battle is truly within the self. Like, you can get mad at your angels, you can get mad at your ancestors, you can get mad at your grandpa in spirit, or your grandma in spirit, or whoever, or you can get mad at the exes, or you can get mad at the person, whoever, but it all goes back to the self. It's always going to be that. Like, these people walking away, they ain't got no swords, they ain't carrying no conflict, they're not this person over here looking back like, but like, no, you're still carrying the Three Swords, you're still carrying the wounds and the hurt and the pain, bitch. I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah, like, that was me inserting that little part. But spirit is saying, like, you're the only one that's carrying the wound of that. Because you see how she's holding the Three Swords in her hand. And her truth, she's not standing on her truth. The Ace of Swords is there. She's holding the sword in her hand, the Ace of Truth, the Sword of Truth in her hand. But she's still conflicted because she got two swords in the other hand. So she's still like, because you're holding on to the woundedness, and you're not able to discern things clearly and truly for what they are. And there's two swords also laying on the floor. So it's a refusal to see. It's a refusal to see. If she was to gather all these swords up and really look at the shit, you could shift your energy. She would be able to shift these energies. The fives represent shifts. They represent a major change as well. So I see this also as the Seven of Swords. I'm not trying to get too deep, y'all, but you have the Two of Swords with the Five of Swords. There's seven swords. So it's self-deception, deceiving the self, and it's because it's coming from a place of woundedness. That's what it goes back to. And then knowing that everything is fine. Like, sometimes you got to get to a place where you fuck yourself to where you get to the tower moment where the blow up happens just to see that everything was okay. Like you were so stressed out about this and you were just trying to do this, trying to do that, just to only see it was cool. There was nothing to really worry about. There's nothing you needed to control or do. You were just caught up in that space, caught up in being blind to your ego, basically. Then you look at the Nine of Cups. This represents self-fulfillment. So I get like it will come to a space where you do, because you got, let's see, got 2 2s, that's balance, a 5, you got a 6, you got another 6 with the Lover's card. So I feel like the balance about the equal give and take, or knowing, you know, being in a place of receptivity to receive and to give love and seeing your worth and your value, but also creating healthy boundaries for yourself, is also going to help you come into this space with the Nine of Cups, I feel. Then you got the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is about working on the self. And like I said, I'm talking to you, but I feel like the person as well, they're also doing their own work. I see something with a message with the Page of Wands. I'm going to clarify it. But, yeah, I feel like some of you guys have to go through a tower moment just so you can see that everything is fine. Everything is how it should be, or everything needed to happen the way that it happened. You got the Seven of Pentacles over the Page of Wands. So it's like you're waiting for a message, or something about waiting for a message caused a tower moment, caused you to be triggered. Okay. Or taking some sort of action before time, or feel like, okay, well, when should I do something? So the waiting game could also be something that triggers you. A waiting game. I put all this energy and effort into something and I still gotta wait, and then there's a trigger that comes. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, this person's stupid. Oh, they just like the last person. Or maybe I did something wrong. Or maybe if I was like this. Or maybe if I should have did this. Or ooh, blah, blah. And then all these little stupid sprinkles of thoughts come in, and then you blow up in this little tower moment, and you get to a place where you're like, okay, all I have is me to look at. I'm going to look at my damn self, because that's all you have. Like, I don't get too many partnership energies in these cards that I pulled. It's going back to the self, only for you to see that everything was okay. And for some of you, it does go to something with communication, because she's looking at her cell phone. So it could be something in regards to waiting for communication. The Lover's card, it's Gemini. Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury, which is communication. The Archangel Gabriel, I believe, which is the messenger of God, is the angel in that card. So it's like waiting for a sign, or waiting for a message, or something. Just it leads to a tower moment. And if it already happened, I feel like it's bringing you to a place of clarity where this is about something with balance, how you see yourself and your value and your self-worth. You have a lot of Pentacles energy, got a lot of Earth energy, something about needing to ground, needing to ground your energy, needing to ground yourself, also needing to be clear with your higher self, because you got also a lot of air energy. You got the Lovers, you got the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Ten of Swords. Ooh. You got a lot of air. You got some fire. So not a lot of movement, not a lot of action. Then you got some emotional energy. So a lot of earth-based energy. So again, like, you got to balance out the spirit and the physical realm. So this, like I said, this is not it's not a week of much movement and a lot of happenings, but I do feel like you will get some sort of movement, or some sort of action, or some sort of a message. If it is a message, Divine Spirit, please expand on this Page of Wands. I spent a lot of time on this love reading, but y'all know. Ten of Swords again. So this is the trigger, something with, and that is until you let go of something in regards to communication. I feel like communication could happen, or someone is fighting themselves in regards to that, fighting against it. Queen of Swords, yeah. It's a lot of pridefulness too at the same time, but I also feel like someone is in the position that it's time to speak their truth, or you want to speak, yeah. Empress, you got to stand in your power. Someone needs to stand in their power when it comes to this energy I'm picking up. The devil, yeah. The devil card, it represents being bound to something, obsessive energy, Four Pentacles, holding on to shit that doesn't serve, out of pridefulness, out of ego, after just kind of wanting the ego or the flesh to be fed right now. That's the focus right now, should be on healing and getting in alignment with that, because if you're not in alignment, you're in this space of ego, you're not going to receive what's of your highest good. If you're trying to, like, say for instance, you want things to move forward in a certain way, or whatever the case may be, whatever your desires, whatever your biggest hope or your biggest wish is, it's not to say that you can't have it. It's your energy has to be in the frequency or the vibration to even receive it. That's like with anything. Like, I don't know. It's like you cannot manifest something that you're not in that space to even receive it. Like, how am I gonna say, like, I don't know how to even explain it, but it's like your energy has to match what you're asking for. You cannot be in a state like a bummy mentality and think that you're gonna get something greater or higher. You got to be in a place where you know. So this requires releasing and healing. That's the thing. That's what the star is doing. But it's like, it's the time. Like, the time is now. The time, and also a new beginning is coming in with the stork. But this is due to what's been released. Yeah. It's a lot of programming. Like Ilani said, like, a lot of things come from generations and generations of trauma. Like, if you think about it, you could think about it from a spiritual sense, that we are our ancestors, and whatever they experience within themselves and their DNA, we take it on, you know, each generation within that bloodline. Or you can take it as what, you know, grandma's toxicity that she took on from her mother and father, instilled into your mother and father, and then they took it on to you, and so on and so forth, until somebody breaks this fucking cycle and sees between the bullshit and say, I'm going to break this. Because there's a lot of, especially with different cultures, like, because a lot of that shit is breaking down. Like, the soul and the spirit does not align with culture, and color, and it's all about the soul, what's in the soul connections. It does not have to do with the fact that I'm a Christian and you're an atheist. Or, of course, your true core selves have to align what your truths are. But some of that shit is shit we've just been taught to believe. Like, it's not even something that truly resonates. We've been programmed to believe certain things. Or we've been programmed to, arrange marriages. That's a cultural thing. That's also things that were in, centuries and way, way, way back. You can't marry this person because they are not Buddhist. They're not a whatever Muslim, or this person is, and I'm not saying, like, I'm not age group stuff. When I say that, I'm not saying that it's okay for you to marry a 12-year-old girl and you 50. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not on that shit. That's not what I mean. There's a difference. Like, there is a difference with shit. You know better than that. But unless, and I can't judge this, but unless it's like you feel like if that's someone that you're supposed to be with, you would wait until that person gets of age. Like, I believe that. I think I've heard people say that. And I can't really argue with that too much. But I'm not saying that y'all going out of, I'm not agreeing with that, okay? I'm not co-signing that. But what I am saying is that the soul oversees all this fucking programming that has been instilled on us. So that's why a lot of it has to be broken, and some of you guys are breaking that. These connections have nothing to do with the flesh, has nothing to do with who you are in society, what shape you are, what color you are, how much money you make. what the fuck you listen to, what you eat, like all that shit deep down does not matter. What's the soul and the spirit recognition, that's what really matters. So it's gonna rock a lot of people's worlds and lifestyles up because it's reconstructing the bullshit. Like this fucking all this shit we've been taught is bullshit. Like, because if you think about high school, I don't know why I'm being guided to say this, but like in high school there was like what we called cliques. You would have kind of like you think of Mean Girls. You have the artsy kids, you have the nerds, you had the preppy kids, you had the black hotties, whatever. You had that. You had the different types of cliques. You had the athletes, the jocks, or whatever, and the cheerleaders. You had all these different the music kids or whatever. And as you get older, like as I gotten older and as I let go of being stuck in a box of who I think I am, and oh, I can't fit in with these people because they're like this and I'm like this, or blah blah blah, we can't relate. When I got in more into my spiritual self, that's when I can resonate with anybody. Like I can sit down and talk to a fucking 6-year-old man that I don't know, like it's happened. Like environments, and shout out to Ilana, she took me to an event the other night. It was like a house party with like just people just vibing, and there were like all different types of people, like different age groups, ethnicities, just just like different, and it was a vibe. That's what it's about. It's not about, oh, I'm hanging out with these people because it's like that shit's fake and it doesn't even resonate. It does not resonate. You go where your soul flows and where it goes and where it resonates. And that's not even just with love. That's with your soul tribe, or people that even if you're just meant to meet them for like that moment, they're still part of your soul tribe. Like this existence is temporary. So essentially, every person you meet is like a part of that line, that storyline of your life. So when it comes to divine counterparts, it's shit that has to be. It's a soul thing. That's why some people like you can't get away from it because it's a soul thing. It has nothing to do with your fucking ego. It has nothing to do with your ego because a part of you does want it. It's not a matter like you could tell when something is not for you. You can tell when something doesn't really resonate with your soul or your spirit. You can't force it. Soul energy is not a forced energy, but you can tell when you're in two minds about it because there's a part of you that is pulling towards and there's a part of you that wants to repel. There's a difference. So, yeah, there's a difference. So, yeah, spirit don't care about that. It's the ego. And that's why spirit has to flush out the ego. All the, I can't because, oh, it can't be because, oh, well, I don't have that, so that can't happen. Oh, I can never do this because I don't have a paintbrush, so I can never paint. Bitch, you better go in there and get you a makeup brush and paint with the makeup brush or something. Like, the excuses gotta go. So, gotta let it go. So, now I don't mean to call people bitches, that's just how I talk. And that's another thing, too. The spirituality stuff where you gotta talk like Tinkerbell and fucking Mother Teresa, that shit's fake. Some of it, yeah, some people are like that, and some people, it is what it is. And yeah, get out of that orthodox thinking of the fake shit. I'm gonna come in with my hotep, or I'm gonna come in with my namaste and my whatever, however you say it. And that means I'm spiritual, and that means I'm so holier than thou because I drink green fucking smoothies. All that shit has gotta go. All of it has to go. You can't move, and that's another thing too. It's like my sister is over here, like one of the little things on your arm on the cartoons. Like, anyway, but she said like everybody has their own essence and their own flavor that they bring to this universe. If you're unique and you have a spiritual gift or whatever, we all do. You can't be like the next person. I can't be like Dorian Virtue or Martin Luther King or something. That's not my path. All I can be is me. Who else or how else can I be a service to myself and to the universe or whatever, or to others, if I'm not being my authentic self? Like, that's another thing. Like, we're taught not to be different. We're taught to be like everybody else. And even when you think you're being different, you're still being like everybody else. Like, when you get into the spiritual community, it's all, and crystals, I'm not denouncing them because they are helpful, but it's like, it's a fad. The certain topics, it's all a fad. Oh, the vibes. Like, bitch, you even know what vibes mean? Like what is that? Like, it's all like, everything is so fake and it's not authentic anymore. And I seen a post the other day on Instagram. It's like, spirituality is starting to become a religion, and it is. It's like it's some fucking stage. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You resonate who you resonate with. I'm not saying that people that are, the love and light type are not authentic, but a lot of it is because it's like, that's what people have been taught to think. That's what spirituality is. This is the only way that you're meant to read cards. This is the only way that you're meant to talk. This is the only way that you're meant to dress and all of that. And if you're on that, then you're just this enlightened being that's perfection and all this bullshit. Like, no. No. So, I don't know. I've been doing this for a little bit, and I have evolved much within it and become a little more comfortable with myself. But that's from a lot of healing and a lot of releasing shit. That's not easy. And if you're trying to align with your soul, yourself, and you say you want to align with a soulmate and a twin flame and all that other shit that people talk about, or your soul tribe, you gotta be in touch with your own soul, and you gotta know what the fuck that is and what that looks like. If not, you're not gonna align with that, and you're gonna keep attracting inauthentic connections until you get real with your own self. And that means honoring everything about yourself, even to the fact of you saying, I'm not happy with this today, or this part of me I don't really like, but I'm gonna heal it anyway. That's just a part of being authentic and real with yourself. I'm having a shitty day. Yeah, I get sad. Yeah, I get triggered. Or, it's like, at the end of the day, yes, we are spiritual beings first, but we do have flesh. So we are going to be subject to the environment and the reality that we're in to some extent, which is all 3D shit. So that's another thing as well. Nobody's perfect. Right. Without darkness, you'll never be able to discover the light. And without light, you'll never be able to highlight what's in the dark. Like, you can't have one without the other. Like, can't. So when people get real like, oh, the readings are so negative, well, whoever I'm channeling for needs to hear it. And if it's all negative or whatever, of course, there's a solution. There's light to the darkness, right? So it's not just highlighting the shadow and just leaving it like, oh, you're in the dark. Sorry. That's it for you. I'm sorry. You're never going to be happy. But I'm a shadow worker. I realize that I'm here to help highlight things that need to be released and need to be healed. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to surface read and cushy read for you and all of that. Like, I'm here to, like, get y'all out here. Like, let's do this. As I do it for myself, and as I have other warrioresses around me and all of that to help me along the way, whether these are people in my life actively or people that I come across online or something that I just read at the time or something that I listen to that's helping me on my path. Like, I appreciate all of it. Every single part of it, I appreciate it. Because, yeah, the journey don't stop here. I thought last year when I was in the space, like, oh, I don't give a fuck about this and I'm blah, 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 that I was, like, doing something, but you just keep going. Like, it's a journey. Just fucking go with it. I don't know. But if you guys stuck around, I'm gonna pull from the love messages card to see what we'll call it divine feminine versus divine masculine. So whatever you in your essence core vibrate more with, you feel like you are feminine or masculine, I'm going to tap into what each wants to convey or say to the other. So I'm going to split the deck, divine feminine, divine masculine. start with Miss Divine Feminine or Mr. Divine Feminine, does not even matter at this point. You know what you resonate with. I believe God made you as my equal. Let's see. I asked God, my angels, my ancestors, and guides about you. Okay. Not everything is going to resonate, but you know what resonates with you. But it says sex with you is not purely a physical act. My heart and soul explodes. Some of you guys may have gotten, the D or the whatever of, If marriage was still sacred, I would gladly marry you. I'm very stuck in my ways. So, feminine energy, like, there's a part of you that knows, like, your soul knows. So you're picking up a fragment of that this is the person, that this is my equal to my energy, my soul, my essence, whatever. This person's equal to that. But there's still some doubt because you're consulting spirit, which is a good thing though. You're consulting your spiritual team about this situation to help you and to guide you, so you're not completely walking in your ego. Some of you guys had gotten the business from this person, if you know what I mean. I'm not gonna, you get it. Some of you guys have had that, so you know that it's not something that's physical because you've felt it, you've experienced it, and it's something that is more of a soul, it's a heart and soul exchange more than it is a physical act. So for some of you who never had that, you imagine it, or maybe this has happened to you astrally. You've had an experience. They removed him quick. So you know that in essence, like, it's meant to be something spiritual. It's something on a soul level, on a heartship level. Then if marriage was still sacred. So there's a part of you that has your, quarrel, whatever, about marriage and its sacredcy. You may look at marriage as like a joke now. Everybody just gets married just for superficial reasons and the wrong reasons, and you feel like and I feel like this is slightly ego a little bit because marriage is still sacred. It just depends on the person and you. For some people, it's not so sacred. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people, it's not taken in a sacred sense. But there's a little bit of doubt here when it comes to unions from feminine energy. And it says, I'm very stuck in my ways. So someone, or some of you, majority of you, are acknowledging the fact that you are a little bit stubborn, that you're very set in your ways, that you don't know everything, which is a good thing. I feel like this is being honest. So, oh, you had a dream last night? So did I. My dream world has been crazy. All right, so let's see what masculine energies, divine masculine energies have to say. What y'all got to say. What bullshit are you on now? I'm just kidding. Maybe that explains why some of you guys have been having dreams. I cannot lie. I do touch myself thinking of you. I can sense how you are feeling and thinking. You need to choose what you really want. I have been avoiding you. You're not seeing me clearly. I fear that I'm not good enough, and this is all too good to be true. I told you there's a masculine that's like struggling with themselves and their worth. And all right, so I cannot lie. I do touch myself, think about you. So obviously that's self-explanatory. This person is, taking care of their business when it comes to you. I can sense how you're feeling and thinking. So you guys are in tune to a level where you guys can pick up on each other's energy. Heartship, it could be like heart pulls, like it almost feels like a pain in the heart chakra. It's like the best way I can describe it is it does kind of feel like a heart, like your heart is being massaged and it's really hot. It's a hot feeling in your chest So you guys may be picking up on each other energetically when you feel that. But this person is, they have a sense of what you're feeling and what you are thinking. They feel like you need to really decide what you want because it's like a fickle energy. And I kind of feel this is divine masculine's higher selves. For some of you saying this is not really them unless they know something like where you are very indecisive, you're back and forth with each other, or there's another person that you have in your life or something like that. Or choose a person that, like, choose what you like, who you really want or what you really want. I don't know. I kind of get a sense like it's like this vibe. Um, I can sense how you're feeling, how you're thinking. So it's, I feel like they can feel something about like you're not really sure. And I've been avoiding you. So yeah, this person has been avoiding you. And it's not like, I don't feel like it's ill intended. For some of them, it could be because they're being assholes, or you're being an asshole. If you're a divine masculine, you are being an asshole, or you're just doing it because you feel like that's what's best right now. You're not seeing me clearly. So you're not seeing this person really for who they are, whether that's, you know, some shadow things about them, or you're confused, like you really don't know like where you stand with each other. There's a lot of conflict with this pile specifically, I feel. I fear that I am not good enough and this is all too good to be true. So there's a lot of doubt with this person. And it's like they want you to be sure so that they can be sure. You know how that is? And that's why I said you have to choose yourself. It's not about choosing to be with a person. If you're choosing to be with a person because you chose within yourself, like this is what's best for me, or spirit has shown me that this is what's best for me and I'm aligning with that. So I choose this. It's not, oh, I'm going to choose if you choose me. That's, again, that's the imbalance. And I feel like that's why I said I feel more so masculine energy is having a hard time with that self-worth, self-love, self-forgiveness, and all of that. So you need to choose what you truly want. Is I want you to choose that I can feel comfortable, because I fear that I'm not good enough for you, and all this shit that I'm feeling is just too good to be true. So it's a fear that needs to be addressed and needs to be handled. And that was a long ass reading. I'm gonna pull one more card from Vibez as the plug, just as a self-love message, and then we'll cap this reading off and leave it. Venus and Taurus. So it says, do whatever gives you those dope ass feels. Just remind yourself to always stay rooted. So it's okay. Like I said, this is balancing out the physical and the spirit realm, balancing it out. Like, flow with what feels right to you, but also stay rooted, stay grounded. Basically, that's what that says, and that's a reminder. And I hope that all the like maybe not all the messages, but the general reading and the love reading, you took something out of both or all of it. Whoever knows, whatever you're meant to take out of it, whatever your spiritual team needed you to know. I hope that I was able to deliver that to you and that this reading resonates. And I wish you guys a happy new year, because I don't know if I'm going to come on. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm going on break like I said. But I wanted to leave you guys with at least a weekly reading or bi-weekly reading. So I will see you guys soon. Much love to you. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night and weekend, and I will catch you guys soon.